We are in the shop today, working on the TJ. I don't think I've done a whole lot of videos actually working on the TJ, but snow season is pretty much over. It's April 8th today. And even though it is technically still snowing in the hills, I think we're kind of calling it quits just because we all got a lot of projects that we got to get done and ready for the Rubicon and get ready for dirt bike season. But the cable e-brake on this thing sucks really bad. And I converted it to discs. I put good pads on it and it still just won't hold. And you guys know I have the Atlas case, and what good is trying to do a front dig if your rear wheels don't hold? So I'm going a different route because, you know, my background kind of lies in the drift car world, which the other drift car's not here right now, but I'm gonna put a Nameless Handbrake in there. We all know these are like one of the best handbrakes in the biz, and being anodized red and a local company to me, they're right in Woodland, Washington here. I'm gonna try to use this laydown style in the factory location. So the problem with that is from here to my storage box back there, it's exactly 23 inches. And this thing's right about 23 1/4. So I may have to cut into the box a little bit. This is just for mock-up. I'm gonna use a pass-through style so I can still use my regular foot brake and not add a second caliper. But I may have to angle this handle up a little bit and sit up above this point right here. So if it went to like right there, I think it'd be totally fine. So we'll see how it goes. We got the center console out. There's a lot of Northwest floating around in here. I've pulled out handfuls of pine needles and sticks that were underneath the center console. But now it's time to pull that baby off there. I can't see, I'm just going with braille. Damn it. Ooh, that's gonna be a pain in the ass. I got this chunk of steel here, and I'm gonna end up mounting the handbrake to this and then welding this to the floor. The reason I'm doing that is because there's a lot of people that mount their handbrakes to the thin sheet metal, and it doesn't work very well. The metal bends around because you're putting a ton of leverage on the thing. So I went ahead and got this, I don't know, 3/16, maybe quarter, who knows, chunk of metal. I'm gonna throw that down there, mount it to that, and then I can drill my holes where my lines are gonna come in and back out. And then we got the JK in here. So I've been driving the JK, drives really nice, gets pretty good mileage for what it is. And we're gonna do, oh, I got all kinds of crap in here. We're gonna do the northern half of the Oregon BDR on dirt bikes, but Amy is gonna drive the Jeep and run support. But I don't have a fire extinguisher. So I got this very cheap on Amazon quick release fire extinguisher thing. And I'm gonna mount the fire extinguisher in there to the roll bar, and then we'll have one. All right, it turned out pretty good. Quick, easy. See if I can do it with one hand. Yeah. See if I can put it back with one hand. Nope, not really. There. Yeah, turned out good. And it was like $20 on Amazon. I wired up some LED strips in here for when we're like camping and whatnot. I'm setting up there, and one more in there. So put in this little switch. Pretty much at a standstill until the rest of my stuff comes in. But I was able to cut out this jack bracket, get rid of all the wiring to the seats and a couple other things, plus all the e-brake stuff. Like, it's actually kind of a lot of stuff. And I'm thinking, you know, because, you know, if you guys all know me, it's every ounce counts, especially in the snow. But I'm thinking with the added brake fluid and then that plate that's in there, I'm thinking I probably broke even. I don't think I gained anything as far as weight goes. So, and I know a lot of you guys are probably laughing because, you know, it's probably a pound or less total that I gained or lost. But to me, that means something, especially in the snow. My master cylinder showed up. I ran to town, got some hardware to bolt it down and to bolt the master cylinder to the handbrake. And then I got some fittings here. So if you don't know, this is, well, I guess it tells you right here. 7/16 by 20 on the inlet side. This is actually the inlet side in the back, which is not a common brake line size. So Jeep uses 3/8 by 24 brake lines. So 3/8 by 24 is coming out. So that's, this adapter here just turns it to the regular, I think it's called inverted flare. I'm sure you guys know. But that is just a regular Jeep brake line. So I can go with a straight piece down, tie into the piece that's going to the rear tires from here with just the regular straight brake line, generic brake line that you can buy. And then over here, I had to get this adapter to go from 7/16 by 20 to 1/8" pipe. And then this little guy here goes back to, come on, focus, 3/8 by 24 inverted. So I should be able to go regular brake line from my feed going back to the T on the rear axle into here, and then out of here back to the rear axle. Then as I hit the foot brake, it will run directly through, and then as I grab the handbrake, it will feed just the rears. So everything should work out good if I did my math right. It's coming along okay, not great, but okay. So I got this about where I want it, where it fits in the center console slot pretty well. I still got to cut a little more out. And I got this line that goes back down out of the master in, but I don't have that one because this little guy here, I was trying to twist it into the right orientation, and you can see what happened. Okay, so here's the math behind figuring out what master cylinder you need, or how much pressure, I should say, because this is only the pressure math. This is not the volume. So a 5/8 master cylinder has an area of 0.31. That's pi r squared, and you end up with 0.31.
Sorry about the handwriting.
So 0.31 square inches. We're going to be only dealing in inches here. And our handbrake, I happen to know because I asked the guys at Nameless, the ratio is 11:1. So I figured, and maybe I'm way off here, I don't think so though, your average pull of a handbrake without really straining, with just reaching down with one hand and pulling, I'm going to figure 30 pounds worth of pull. If that seems about right. I don't know. It seems about right to me. I wouldn't want to try to yank 50 pounds on it, but 30 pounds seems decent. So 30 pounds times our 11-to-1 ratio is 330 pounds at the master cylinder rod. That's how much it's pushing on the piston of the master cylinder. So let's do 5/8 first. So we got our area 0.31. We know we got 330 pounds input on the master cylinder rod. And here's our equation. And by the way, I know my handwriting sucks. So if you're in the middle of typing that my handwriting sucks, I already knew that. So we got the master cylinder input, so that's our 330, divided by our area equals output of our line pressure. So in this case, we got 330 divided by 0.31. So if you do that, it comes out to 1064 and a half. And a 5/8 is your standard size. That's what most drift cars run. That's what I run in my A86 and my S13. This 1/2-inch master cylinder, which is the one I went with, and I kind of explained why. Our area, once you do the math, is 0.2. So 0.20. So we got our 330 divided by 0.2 equals 1,650 PSI. By going with the 1/2-inch master, we're talking 1.5 times the pressure coming out. There's the other side of that, which is volume, which we haven't talked about yet, but I need a lot of pressure. The reason is, those are big tires, and the bigger the tire, the more leverage it has over the rotor. And I have small rotors because it's just the regular Terraflex disc kit. So we need a lot of pressure to make up for the lack of rotor and the large tire, which creates a lot of leverage. So that's why I went with the 1/2-inch. Volume. So when we're talking about volume, you only have so much throw on the handbrake, which limits your volume, especially in a 1/2-inch master. So the reason I don't have to worry so much about the volume is because I'm a pass-through master. So I have the regular brake circuit, the regular rear brake line running through my master. So the thing is, I can preload the pads by pressing on the foot brake, and I'm not drifting the thing, so it's not a time thing. I don't need to be quick on the handbrake for doing front digs. So I can preload my pads by pressing on the foot brake, and that preloads the line of pressure, and then grab my hydraulic handbrake. Okay, so something like that is hopefully what we're going to end up with. Now, the way this is configured right now, it all fits under the center console other than right here. It actually fits up in a little groove in there. So if you look at the factory center console, it's tapered. And so all the lines will actually fit. So I got to cut this out, obviously, and I actually got to go a little further. But everything actually is going to work pretty good. It looks like anyway, once I get it welded in, hopefully it still does. But the handle should fit in there as well. I threw a couple tack welds on there. And I'm going to set the center console down and see if it actually pulls up through the slot. So placement works. Hopefully you can see. I need to cut a little more there. And it's almost set all the way down flush to where it typically sits. My little alignment check is like there. So there's perfect. Definitely got to cut a little more there. But that's not going to be an issue. The coolest part is this works. Fits in the little horsehair hole.
100% horsehair.
It finally fits. I've got all the trimming that I had to do done. Now Now it's time to actually weld it out. I might, if I have a weld nut, put a weld nut right here, because right now there's nothing. But if I have one, then it won't be so floppy. These two holes that were like stripped out, that were like sheet metal screws from the center console down into the body. Let's just do some weld nuts into there too. So the paint's pretty much dry. I'm gonna button up all these wires here. Zip tie them all together nice and neat to where they're not gonna get pinched anywhere. And then vacuum it out, throw the seats in. I think I had to have that center console in and out at least 15 times. And with the Atlas, that's not very easy. You gotta like wiggle it in there. Works. Looks really good in there with the anodized red. Fits in the factory hole. I'm stoked on it. I would definitely call that a success. It locks them up on pavement, and we're at like 15 pounds of pressure in the tires. So that's pretty good. You're probably wondering what I spent on this. I think it was $233 for the handbrake and about $82 for the 1/2-inch master. And then, I don't know, about $20 for the lines and fittings and whatnot. Not too bad. I know Nameless is trying to get it to where you buy the handbrake and it comes with whatever master size you choose. I don't know if they'll have that done by the time this video goes live, but if they do, I'll put a link in the description. Either way, I'll put a link in the description for the handbrake and the master, or for the handbrake with the master, depending on what they got done at the time. So, thanks for watching. Support local, buy the Nameless Handbrake. It's really good, and you'll like it. And that's about it.